Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this bright and another day. And good morning to you, Mr. Anthony. I believe that right now it's not
Good
morning
morning, madam.
anymore. And today we have a new topic. It's ideation and ideation and
Design thinking.
yes,
Design thinking,
and
ma'am.
design thinking. So sorry, today it's very cold here. It's extremely cold. Anyway, but then before we proceed with our program, please, Mr. Anthony, can you please give us an introduction of our presenter today, Mr. Shabin Mohammed? It's very nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Anthony, can you please give us an introduction of Mr. Shabin Mohammed before we can proceed?
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear gentle lady. A happy morning to all the participants from Malawi as well as Zambia. Again, a fresh morning. Thanking God Almighty for this wonderful day. And I hope yesterday was a very good day for us, being having Dr. Raman Gujral, who is the director of projects for EDII. He shared plenty of information related with the innovation and all. And some of you are asking uh, about your innovation ideas also. Today we are relating the topic with that actually. And today's topic is fantastic topic: ideation and design thinking to become more success in the entrepreneurial journey actually. So that's how today we are going to discuss actually. For that discussion, today we are having an excellent, I can say he is my brother actually, brother like actually. And I'll share a screen about Mr. Shibin Muhammad. Now I think you're all seeing Mr. TK Shibin Muhammad. One second. Such a wonderful personality. And he is a assistant faculty for EDII, working for several states in India. And I know very well personally, with the help of this Shibin Muhammad, n number of projects took place in, especially in South India actually. He used to visit institutions. In my point of view, he may visit in the past several years more than hundreds of institutions for conducting entrepreneur development, student awareness programs, faculty development programs, and that's the way he is developing a lot of entrepreneurs from the institutions actually. See his academic qualification. He is a ME aeronautical engineer. He did his BTech with mechanical engineering, and he was handling a lot of projects actually. And he is an academician with 5 years of experience in guiding various technology based startups across the state of Kerala. Not only in Kerala, he worked for some other states than Kerala. He pioneered in institutionalizing IEDC in various colleges. That's what I told. His main focus is to visiting institutions, visiting colleges, and developing young entrepreneurs with his able guidelines. Being a United Nations certified EMPRETEC program graduate, mentored potential and existing student entrepreneurs across the state. His area of interest includes techno entrepreneurship, Internet of Things, innovations, and life skills development. Few months back, some 3, 4, 5 months back, I was visiting his place. That place is related to the African soil actually. He's from a state called Kerala. It relates how Africa is looking like the same way Kerala is also looking actually. 5 months back, I have visited Shibin Muhammad, and he takes me to the IT parks located in Kerala, and he takes me to the entrepreneurs clusters areas which was developed by these people actually. So I'm very happy and fantastic. Today we are having such a good personality. Welcome, Mr. Shibin Muhammad, to the presentation on behalf of St. John the Baptist University, Malawi, on behalf of Eugene University, Zambia. We are rendering our heartful welcome. Now the session is yours, Mr. Shibin Muhammad. You can take the session on your own. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Anthony. Thank you for your kind words. I'm indeed uh, very much enlightened by the words which Anthony had provided to me. Truth be told, it's not to that extent like what Anthony is telling. I'm not being that humble too, but I don't know whether he's like, it's a lot of praise to me too. So thanks a lot anyway. Uh, so thank you, DMI GBU, for this particular opportunity for providing me to deliver this session. And thank you for all the people of Malawi and all the important delegates and anyone, whoever is logging into the show. So today, as you might be knowing, we are handling a session on ideation, creativity, and design thinking. It's like, as Madam had some small issue regarding to recollect the topic, there's no harm there because design thinking is something quite new. Even though it was like, which has come out in the 70s, the concept is not that, actually, it's a bit new for all of us. So I think Mr. Dr. Raman Gujral would have guided through you a process like how to start up, like how to gain through the voyage of entrepreneurship, how to start up the entrepreneurship process and all. So today's concept is like the first step, like what you have to do as a first step, what you have to overlook or see into while you go into the way of entrepreneurship. So there are certain concepts which have been developed. The first thing is like you should have a wonderful idea. Everyone should have a wonderful idea. But usually what we see in the case of majority of the startups and entrepreneurs is like the passion dies with the idea. There are wonderful ideas coming up with the heads of the people, but that passion is not carried forwarded. So what do we do? Is there any systematic steps in which we can actually carry it forward? So these things are being analyzed here today by some steps which are more of like a functional sort of topic. I'm not going to a very generalized topic here. And moreover, like what is the relevance of the topic today? That is one of the key features what we have to look into. Seeing that the pandemic or COVID-19 has struck to all the nations around the globe, it is high time that people come out with new ideas in order to overcome out, in order to take the opportunities which are coming in forth for according to the new pandemic which has come here. So because of that, like people need to think of new ways of doing things. For example, like we are all into like we were using the digital platforms, what we are using today we were not using that much of a time like, but today most of us has switched into digital even for e-learning or even for delivering a webinar, whatever it may be. So these things are rapid changes, so accordingly we have to implement or we have to act upon these changes which are coming towards us. So especially in the time of the pandemic, what can we do in order to overcome this situation? That will be one of the core areas which I need you to look upon after my session. Speaking of my topic, ideation, creativity, and design thinking. So it is basically like what I require from all of you is generally it's a very interactive sort of topic. But I know since like we are all in a webinar here, the amount of interaction will be quite less. But still, I will try to make it as interactive as possible. You can shoot out your questions in the chat anytime of the program. There's nothing like, okay, I will do after this, after finishing my session you have to post the questions, nothing like that. You can do it anytime, shoot out the questions. I'm welcome all the time to answer your questions here. And also another one thing which I require from the participant is like the topic ideation creativity should be looked upon like a child. It's not like, okay, I'm a very grown up person, I'm maybe 32 or maybe 60 years old or 50 years old, so that will be my perspective for this particular session. It is nothing that serious. If only you look upon this particular session as a kid, through the eyes of a kid, you will be able to inculcate that particular values what I am trying to reach on to you. in general words, if you say like, in order to be more creative, like kids, like small children are very creative, and they have a lot of ideas in them. So I need you, all of you, like to think like a kid. That is what I require from you for the whole session. Okay. So I think I will move on to my session now, and I will just share my screen with the presentation. I have made a small presentation here. Okay. Okay, the share screen option is here. I'm doing there. Share. So I hope it's visible to you. So as Anthony told you, like I'm an assistant faculty for EDI. I've been with EDI for 8 years, and before that, like I was a program facilitator for United Nations too. So what all I have got through the learnings, like what all I have learned through my journey of entrepreneurship, through my small journey of entrepreneurship, is something what I'm trying to share to you today here. So first of all, without creativity and design thinking, I'll be delivering this topic in such a way that a part I will go for ideation. Like I cannot like guarantee that from a single topic or from a single webinar, all of you will be turning to a creative mindset. That is nothing which I can guarantee here, but I can try. I will tell you the means and methods in which you have to bring on creativity onto the approach or on how you do the things. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to start with a small question. So, what will we laugh within 20 years? That is a single question, but you can always post your answers. Okay. So, there are many things here. Like you might recollect many things. These are floppy disk, these are film-based cameras, the cassette players which we have, and telegraph instrument, the phone, the old type of phones which you might have used, or maybe I don't know, as a child or something, the typewriter. So these things are something which are quite obsolete right now, which is not at all in the picture. So these things are something which actually we are laughing right now when we see a floppy disk with. I remember the floppy disk had 1.38 MB. Megabytes, that is the capacity 1.36, and the floppy disk before that has even had a smaller megabyte MB of that. So what was the things that led to the transformation from a floppy disk just within a few span of years? Let's say 10 years. We have moved from floppy disk, we have moved to hard disk, we have moved to a type of Blu-ray disc or something, which is completely different, completely new technology. So these things are something which have come through rapid process of ideation. So initially, during the stage of a cassette or a floppy disk, there was some sort of an ideation process going on. But right now, the process of ideation is quite high. I'll just tell you, for example, the time it took to deliver or time it took to find out the first telegraph machine, maybe half of the time would have taken for making the first mobile device. Right? And now we know like what all the time would have taken for making the first telephone machine. And even half of that, or maybe no, even lesser time would have taken for making the first mobile device. Right? And now you know like what all technologies are coming in the mobile device. So right now, when we think of a telegraph machine, it actually brings a lot of like it brings happiness and it brings a lot of laughter into our mind, because nobody uses a telegraph right now, right? Or a typewriter. We all have our laptops and all these things to work on. So these things are something which we have to think. So right now, we will be using certain things in our life which we might laugh after a period of 20 years, which we don't know. So this is why we have to think for any creative process, we have to think ahead. We have to think ahead. We have to think ahead of 20 years. I'm developing something. I have a wonderful idea. Okay. So right now, what I would like to do is, what will happen to that particular idea after 20 years? Will it sustain? Or will something can replace it at a point? So why ideation creativity is important for the enterprise or for startups? There are many things like how ideation and creativity is brought about. So I'll just list out a few. The first thing is for introducing new and innovative products. The major output of ideation is coming out with new products, innovative products, which all the people like. We have certain mask here, like which has some Bluetooth headset, and all these things are there. And like you can see the coffee cup, which is quite innovative. Some a method or a mechanism to remove the corn kernels from the corn, or even a breakfast bar. I think you all know what a breakfast bar is. Like even particularly in the IT sector of India, we have the people don't have enough time, or all over the world, the people now doesn't have time at all. So they have all the essential nutrients of the breakfast packed into a single bar, and they are having that. So these things are innovative products, all these things. So for introducing new and innovative products, we require ideation and creativity. The second thing is for disruptive ways of providing support and services. What do you mean by disruption? Disruption is actually a change in the existing norm of something which has been done till now. For example, if you take the case of Uber is like, Uber is a taxi providing service. We have Uber Eats also, but I'm just taking the case of Uber. You know that till now, till this much time, for hiring a taxi, we used to go all the way to the taxi stand or wherever the place is, or we used to give a call, the taxi used to come out to our home, right? So right now we are using an app. We can use an app and we can hire a taxi, similar to the taxi of Eco Ride, which I think is very much popular in different type of online platforms. We are using different platform for communication like WhatsApp and Skype and all, like what we are doing right now, StreamYard. So these are like disruptive ways of providing support and services. Same support is being provided in a different or a disruptive way. So this is something which we can use for ideation and creativity. For promotion or marketing, that is the third important use of ideation and creativity. If you have an existing business, you can think of some other new way of promoting it or marketing your existing business. Right now, most of you, like most of us, will be moving to digital platforms. I think you already had a session on digital marketing and all these platforms. So how we are using the digital platform? How are we that is already we are using the digital platform for promoting our business. platform for the existing business. So these things are something which we can use for promoting the existing business which we are already having. So that is ideation, a use for ideation, or also like here I have shown in the bottom left corner, I have shown a small picture of a packaging here, which I am actually like we are using for packaging soap. Like we are using for packaging soap. Like we all use soap, we are manufacturing soap, and we have soap in the market. But here, this particular seller has used a particular ideation method, an idea in which the soap is actually packed in a sack. You know what's a sack, right? Cloth sack, or maybe a kaya based sack or a jute sack. He has packed it and tightened it. So this gives the impression that the product is organic in nature. It's a very organic product. Even though I don't know whether that product is healthy or not, but still, that is the impression which it gives on the consumer. So this is some of the methods. And to get onto new opportunities and challenges. So this is one of the methods which marketing used. Also, you can see some examples which are given here. An ad of a watch which they have got a handle for a bus or a train. Okay, so these are some of the methods. And to get onto new opportunities and challenges. So opportunities and challenges. The challenges are all around us. Like right now, we have the COVID-19 situation, which is going on. So there might be like a group of people. I'm not telling like it's all like we have to face that in a bold manner. Like we all are afraid. Even I'm afraid of the situation. But it's not like there will be a group of people who will always lament or tell that, okay, this is something which, okay, my business is down because of the pandemic. My business is down because of the COVID 19 situation. I don't have anything to do about it. But there are people who can think innovatively and tell, and okay, how can I meet this particular situation? How can I adjust my business according to the particular situation? I have just given some example. The automobile industry, as you might be knowing, has come to a major downfall in one single century, in the biggest downfall in the century right now. But right now, so what is some major thing what we can do? So how to upcome the automobile industry? So there are many methods. Like that is somewhere where we have room for ideation and creativity. There are no people traveling outside. There is a plastic ban which is happening just before the COVID-19 attack or something. Like all over the world, the people were trying, all the countries were trying to limit the waste coming out with ways to remove the plastic. So there were many industries which came out with concepts like carbon neutral, cornstarch based plastic bags and all, which I have just shown here. So these are the things which we can actually act according to the pandemic. Like the pandemics and all things will come to us. The situations might come, but we have to act accordingly. The situation might come, but we have to act accordingly. We have online digital services and digital platforms for transferring money, like pay stack, which I think which I think you guys might be knowing, which is again a startup from the African region. We have whenever there was a crisis for the oil, we had the electric cars come to the market, and big industries like Tesla Motors and all had made their venue there. So these things that is the thing. When we are faced with a situation, when we are faced with a difficulty, don't think it as a difficulty, but think of what is the opportunity which we can gain from that. From that particular challenge, how we can act according to that opportunity and make something creative out of it. For that, you require generous amounts of ideation and creativity to be done. So, as I told you before, today's session, I'll be dividing into three portions: creativity, the ideation and problem solving, and design thinking approach. The three parts of my session will be divided in this particular manner. So, again, I'm telling you, I will show you some methods in which you can inculcate the creativity into you. You can bring on the creativity approach whenever you do things, or whenever you go about your business or startup or whatever. Or maybe even in your day-to-day activities. But it is not that okay, the session is over, I will try to be creative, I can be creative. That is not the thing. Creativity is inborn within that is true, but you have to take the small steps which I believe will help you for that. So generally, what are the creative steps? What is the basic steps what is happening during creativity in business? Or what do you mean by creative steps? What is the inculcate, or how do you bring these steps into your business? onto yourself. So I will just give you an example before going to the steps. I'll just give you a small story. You all might be knowing about the story of Archimedes. You know the Archimedes principle? I presume, yeah. All of you might be knowing the Archimedes principle, right? So he jumped into the water, and the water came out, and all these things, like you might be knowing. So accordingly, like if I recollect story very well, what was the actual Archimedes principle? The weight of an object. I'm not going much into physics here, but the weight of an object is directly proportional to the directly proportional to the water displaced by that object, or maybe the density of that object is directly proportional to the what density of that particular metal or the material is directly proportional to the weight of the object, or maybe the water displaced by that particular object. So this is Archimedes principle. So what happened? What is in the story? The king, whenever Archimedes was in the royal scientific advisor or something for the king, and the king had a crown which was made of gold, which he had told that which should be fully made of gold. And when he got the crown ready, he had a doubt whether there was some sort of other material or metal mixed into the crown, right? That was the story as I recollect. I think you all guys know the story, but I'm just telling it again. So what he did is he called Archimedes and told that, okay, I have a crown here. I want you to find out how much gold is there and how much is the other metal or whatever material is there. It's a very difficult thing. The whole thing is like mixed and everything. We can't actually find out what is the actual amount of gold there or what is the actual amount. It's difficult. So Archimedes was thinking about this. He was completely thinking and he was not getting an answer. Then he thought, okay, fine. I'll just keep it aside. I'll keep my problem aside. I'll do something different. I'll go and take a bath. And the rest of the story, he jumped into the tank or the bathtub, and he suddenly cried out Eureka. He came out running naked, and all these things is something which you know. So what happened? What is the idea here? He found out that like the amount of water displaced whenever you come or whenever you come to like when you push a object into water, the amount of water displaced is directly proportional to the density of that particular material or that object which you're putting inside. And accordingly, if you take a crown made of gold and other metal and if you put it in water, then the density of that particular crown the amount of water displaced will be completely different if it is completely full of gold or if it is mixed with other metals, because the density of gold and density of other metals are completely different. It's a very simple process. So how does we can we can connect it to creativity here? Now let's go back to the slides here. We have the first step, that is preparation. The first step is recognize the problem and find the solution. The first step is recognize the problem and find the solution. Recognize the problem, which requires some creativity, which requires some sort of problem solving. Try to find out much information about the problem and consciously try to come up with an answer. It's consciously try to come up with an answer. I'm not telling come up with an answer, just try to come up with an answer. So here in the case of Archimedes itself, he know about the density. If only because he knows about the difference in things. So whenever you are faced with a problem, the first thing is like you have to understand the problem, understand all the information regarding the problem which is facing you. That is the first step. Prepare yourself, prepare about the problem for yourself. The second step is incubation. Incubation is the second step for creative thinking. Do something unrelated to the problem. Think of something else and allow your mind to unconsciously work on the problem. So here, Archimedes had a problem in mind. He decided to take a bath, which is something unrelated. He's doing something completely unrelated of the problem. This is called the incubation stage. This is what we learn in psychologists, that if some problem is constantly tormenting your mind, just keep it aside for a while. Try to do something else, something which is unusual in your activity, and unconsciously that solution will come out. I don't know, please don't ask me, I'm not a psychologist, but it's a proven thing. You can even try it out. So do something unrelated to the problem. Think of something completely different thing and allow your mind to unconsciously work on that problem. Because unconscious processing is more effective than conscious processing. If you want to know the answer for this particular problem, it is called conscious processing. It is called conscious processing. It is making me happy, because your mind is a state of mind, really think. Third step is keep aside your problem for some time, like a realize. And the fourth step will work creative, fix your problem. What you got will work out or not. So this is the verification process. You can try out this particular approach whenever you need to think creatively or whenever you need to address a problem in a creative manner. Now, whenever is like we have to think outside the box. It's very easy, like for me to sit here and tell, okay, for example, this which your brain, there's no our thought process is okay, XYZ condition. I'm not big whatever. I'm not going much to that. So when you think perspective, the gray box, you take the for deliver a thought in a different way. Why can't that? You take the case of the great innovation of the box and your basic components of creativity. I'm born as not. You are generally among the 90 or 89. The thing is like, to what extent you are using your brain. That is the general thing here. Included in all of us, just to how extent we are using that component here. One is the expertise. So expertise is the from our engineering or degree or professional things. We have the thing way or the understanding of how the things should be done. We have the understanding of maybe the software how it should be done is known to us. So that is the expertise, the technical, procedural, and the intellectual knowledge is expertise. The second thing is the creative thinking skill. We have the expertise and the knowledge, but that doesn't mean that whenever a problem is presented to us, we can approach it in a way which is easier. For example, if I say students, okay, I'll give a page, maybe I'll give this particular slide and tell them, okay, I need 100 copies, 100 copies of this particular thing which everyone should make and bring it tomorrow. It's an assignment, right? I can tell 100 copies, or maybe the 100 is too much, I know. Okay, 50 copies of this particular thing. Everyone should, every single candidate should make it and bring tomorrow. If I'm just, for an example, I'm telling, a person can make or sit and draw three circles in 50 different sheets. That is one thing. Definitely, that is a process which we know. To make a copy, you have to draw. But I just told you have to make a copy, right? You can just draw one sheet and take a photostat or photocopy or Xerox of the rest of the 49. That is also a method. Or you can do some other methods in which you can print or make a, like you can put a sheet, a carbon paper in between each, and draw in such a way that all the impressions come on all the papers. This is also a method. So for a single problem, there are numerous methods, n number of methods in order to approach it. It is just up to you, like how flexibly or imaginatively you can approach that particular problem. That is the skill or the creative thinking skill. The third one is the motivation. The motivation is what motivates you to make or think creatively. Is it intrinsic motivation? Is it something that is pushing you to be doing like that? If you're working in a company, if there is a particular project which needs to be done in a very creative manner, a creative project, it's not necessarily that maybe you love your job. It's not like you don't love your job, but it's not necessarily like you are doing it out of your interest for that particular thing. It might be your boss is pushing you and telling, okay, look, you have to do this today, or Anthony, you have to do this particular thing today, and you have to complete it. That is an extrinsic motivation, a motivation from outside. Intrinsic motivation should come from inside. That generally happens during entrepreneurship. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship because it's our company. We are working for our company. The motivation to or the passion to bring that particular company to a greater height, greater heights is from within us. It's intrinsic motivation. That will boost your creativity. That will force you to be creative. When these and the motivation come together, that is where the magic happens of creativity. That is where generally people tend to be more creative. That is the portion where beautiful entrepreneurs are born. So just I have to show these are the three components which you need to focus on, which you need to focus on to be creative. It is not that I was not born creative. I was born stupid. There's nothing like that. Every person, I'm again focusing. It's not even like I have told in the, just some time back. I told about a medical condition, but even though I believe that all people are special, they have some sort of a creativity which God has put into them. Maybe maybe one factor might be higher, maybe one factor might be even lower, but it will be, it is there. You just have to find it out and work on that. Okay. So here I have a small test here, which I know I'm not able to do the test because it's a webinar, but still I will tell you what is the functionality of the test, which you can try out, which you needn't share with us, or which you can just try out. It's called the Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, the TTCT test, which is a worldwide, well renowned psychological test for understanding your creativity. There are two figures. What is a Torrance test? I will tell you what the Torrance test is and how do we measure it and all these things. I will just like, if I have one figure here which has some sort of a drawing, it's an incomplete drawing, something, it's drawn something here. I have the second figure also with some sort of an incomplete drawing. The Torrance test require you to draw as number of possible diagrams as you can. You can draw as many diagrams as you can. you can make as number of figures or as number of objects, as number of pictures using this particular figure in that particular picture or this particular drawing in that. This you can actually particular picture. These two are two distinct pictures. I'm again telling you two distinct pictures. By you can make any picture, you can draw any picture, but it should include such a diagram like this. And also you can for the second picture also you can include any number of figures, but it should include this particular diagram shown here. So this is one of the tolerance tests. It is called complete the incomplete. So maybe like I can give you 1 or 2 minutes, which you can just try it out. Or yeah, Anthony, I'll just show you the picture again. Okay, fine. So I'll just move on. Okay, I think maybe can you just show in the chat like how many of you are able to draw? Can you just tell me how many of you are able to draw these pictures? Particular picture and draw as many pictures you like. Okay, fine. I'll just move on to the next slides. Torrance test of creative thinking. So how we measure the TTCT or the divergent thinking test? So this is called the divergent thinking approach, which is just the opposite of the convergent thinking approach. So what do you mean by convergent thinking and divergent thinking? Uh, and I'm just asking a question. Uh, what is the capital of London? Just a question. The capital of London. Sorry, I got it wrong. What is the capital of the United States of America? The capital of United States of America is Washington D.C., right? The capital of sorry, I just thought of capital of UK, but it came out London. Sorry. So the capital of USA is Washington D.C. So how it came, like when I asked you the question, what is the capital of the United States of America? You had the whole world map in your mind. You had then your mind suddenly moved on to the USA, the map of USA, and from there it suddenly moved on to Washington D.C., right? That is the general method how our mind works. Or if I ask you what is the capital of Russia, your mind will go to the map of the whole world, and then the mind goes to the map of Russia, and then it moves on to the particular city or city of Moscow. So already in our mind, we have a set of methods which we have thought like this is the method in which our mind should move for the thinking or the thought process. What we have here is a divergent thinking method, or the Torrance test of thinking. The Torrance test of creativity is actually working on the divergent thinking method. So what is the divergent thinking? So in according to the divergent thinking, we have four different steps here, which is fluency, elaboration, flexibility, and originality. So what are the four? Fluency is the ability to produce a large number of ideas for a particular problem. The ability to produce large number of ideas for a particular problem. For example, I had just many drawings which has these two particular diagrams, right? So that is actually element of fluency. If you can draw maybe some people are able to draw maybe 5 or 10 for a particular problem, 5, 10, 15 for a particular problem. That is called fluency. They are able to generate a large one of the creativity element. The second one is elaboration. The ability to enhance ideas by providing more detail. Some people, like, they will be just like, when I told them to draw for this particular figure, they'll be just drawing one figure, but they'll be trying to make it as much detailed as possible. They'll be, for example, this looks like maybe a mountain. All this in this particular figure they'll try to bring. So that is one of the element of creativity called elaboration. Maybe some people are having elaboration creativity inside them, some are not having that, I don't know. Next is called flexibility, the ability to see things in different ways. So whenever I have here, maybe I have this particular figure, the second in this form itself, but maybe it can be like, you can think differently. It might be something completely different than what we have not thought previously. And the fourth one is originality, the ability to come up with completely unique ideas. Completely unique ideas, which is completely out of the world ideas. So these are the four elements of creativity called fluency, elaboration, flexibility, and originality. But what I have to tell here is, it is not necessary that all of you will be having all these four elements of creativity inside one person. Two, some person might have three out of the four. So it is just you yourself, like, you have to decide how much, or you have to test for yourself. You can test for yourself from the torrance test how much you have. And I'll just show you an example of the torrance test which we have completed. So here I am showing you some examples which many participants have drawn. So here you can see there is completely new ideas. There is this particular figure implanted here. You can here see a dinosaur eating some fish, or maybe a shark eating some fish, or maybe a clown, an eye. So these things are all sort of the creativity which has come from the torrance test. Again, from the second figure, you can see here a creativity. The drawings which have done from the TTCD. So I'm just showing some examples here. So this is just for your reference. Okay. So again, I'm telling you the four elements. The fluency is the ability to produce large number of ideas whenever a single problem is given to you. Elaboration is the ability to produce large number of ideas whenever a single problem is given to you. Elaboration is how much can you provide more detail to a single problem. Some people, they'll just draw some small flower or something. That is not elaboration. You have to elaborate it. Some people have that sort of a creativity. The flexibility is to ability to see things in completely different way, and the originality is to come out with completely unique ideas. So these things are given here. Now that is all about creativity, and now I'm going to your the next part of the program, which is called ideation. What do you mean by ideation? That is the next step of creativity. Now you have inculcated creativity within you. Now you have to promote ideation, or you have to go on with the ideation process. So ideation is a creative process of generating, developing, and communicating new ideas, which might be some sort of a visual or concrete or abstract sort of thought. Ideation is basically an element of thought which can generally be visual, concrete, or abstract, and it is either communicating that particular idea. So there is like three steps. There are many stages. Like, first of all, we have to innovate, which is generally creativity itself. Ideation moves from creativity or innovation to development to actualization. Innovation, development, and actualization. So for effective ideation, how do we do proper ideation? How can we do ideation? Generally we say that we can do proper ideation whenever we are in a group, and all these things, brainstorming, all these things are there as ideas of uh, creativity and ideation. But one thing which I have to tell you is, whenever you have a big group, the ideation results will be worse. Believe me, don't go for a very big group for ideation, because there will be a lot of conflict of ideas. An ideal group is a small group. Generally, for startups and entrepreneurs, we are looking for 3 or 4 people. Don't go for a group of 10 people sitting together and bringing out an idea. That is completely not the idea of ideation. Go for a small group, 4 or 5. Okay, break out of your comfort zone. That is one of the most important element of ideation. You have to break out from your comfort zone, think beyond the beyond your comfort zone, beyond the box, for getting out new ideas. So like for example, if I'm just giving you an example, if you are always in your comfort zone, you cannot come out with new opportunities to tap out new challenges, right? Because always you have been conditioned, your mind has been conditioned to act in that comfort zone. Communicate the desired outcome, the third one. Communicate the desired outcome. The outcome must be communicated well. That is the third step. The minds should be open. You should have an open mind. It is not like when your teammates are 4 or 5 are telling, okay, so we have such an idea. It is not like you should have a mind in which it's closed. It's not like you will be thinking, okay, no, I cannot listen to this guy because his idea will bullshit. It won't work out. It's not like that. Your mind should be open. Open minds are a must. Break the ice to break the idea. Whenever you form in a group, it's not like you all have to be sitting shy and thinking, okay, what if I tell and people laugh at my idea? No idea is a bad idea. In ideation, the general idea is no idea in this world is a bad idea. Every idea can be evaluated and decided whether it is feasible or not feasible. Not like bad or not bad. It's just nothing like bad or not bad. There's nothing like bad idea, good idea. So you have to break the ice, get out of your shyness, and tell or communicate the idea to the group. Judgment free zones equate to more diverse ideas. That's a very important point. Whenever you go for an ideation with your team, pre conceived ideation with your team, preconceived ideas in your mind, telling that this is the only way that this particular problem can be solved. That is called you have come already with a judgment. Whenever you come to an ideation, don't come with a judgment in your mind. You have to come with your mind free of judgment. When you come with your mind free of judgment, then only you can think of new and new ideas. For example, if I am coming for an idea for designing a new laptop, or maybe a new mobile phone, which will be completely free of your judgment, which will be in my mind is that, okay, I need a very good processor, a very good display screen, the Wi-Fi connectivity should be good, it should be handy, all these things. These are judgment zones that which we have in our mind, that this is the idea of a good mobile phone or a good smartphone or whatever. So break out of the judgment free zones, because maybe that might not be the idea of a good smartphone. Maybe somebody else might be thinking of a good product or the consumer likes, which will be completely free of your judgment. think out of the convention. That is the basic thing. The next one is a clearly communicated process. It's not just like you are telling, okay, this is a particular idea which I have, or this is a particular process which we should move on. You should have a communicated process and tell that this is the way in which we can go about making this happen. It is not like we cannot, okay, I have an idea, but I don't know how it can be done. That is not a problem. That is not a problem. That is the next one is structure all the process appropriately. If you have to move for your process, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, you have to which is the first step to which will be first step 1, which will be step 2, which will go to step 3. You have to structure it properly. The last one is involve the right kind of people. I'm not telling you have to get all the brainy and the intelligent people to your group and do the ideation. No, that's not what I mean. Involve the right people. The right people is the people with the right attitude, people with the right mindset to create some sort of not only the people who are intelligent who should come for ideation. The people with the correct attitude to solve the problem can also be good people for the ideation process. So this is basically the effective ideation process. And for effective ideation, we have again another for proper ideation, we have a tool called Scamper. Maybe you would have heard of it. It's very famous and very common tool called Scamper. Scamper stands for S stands for substitute, C stands for combine, A adapt, M modify or magnify, P is purpose, E is eliminate or minify, and R is rearrange or reverse. So this SCAMPER you can utilize or you can try out for any of your problem or getting out a good idea particular problem, or your company has a method in which it has followed throughout the years, or as a method you try to bring out a substitute method or maybe a product which can be used for that particular product. The next is combine. Try to combine two activities understand this to create a new idea. Adapt the adapt to the particular environment. Try to modify, try to make it small or make it big for him. The purpose. Try product or particular method. And the next one is eliminate into use try the minify option or try to reverse. These are some of the method work on. Here we have, you know, this product you might be knowing, it's which they have used a lot of ideation process called Scamper into their particular product. Nestle KitKat original idea. The first one is substitute. So what have Nestle KitKat tried out? They have tried out substitute the S of Scamper, substitute chocolate, complete chocolate with milk and tried to do the marketing. Try to bring out a new product through ideation Scamper. The second one is combine. They have tried to combine fruit what is KitKat. They have but they have tried to bring out the new adapt that into another product. They have tried to believe me. They have tried it out. They have tried to adapt the KitKat to an ice cream and try to sell it, modify and multiply version of the particular single KitKat. Take out of KitKat, a KitKat based like you know the Horlicks or the eliminate. They have eliminated the unwanted portion and they have made it into a single bar KitKat, which can be used by a person maybe which is affordable by any person who can't afford a big KitKat. They can afford a small kitchen and made it into small sized bite, which can be used like small biscuits, like small uh, bar, toffee type Kit Kats they have tried to use. So these are so this is how like one product is just an example how we are using the scamper for ideation. So there are numerous products where we can particularly use scamper, that is substitute, combine, adapt, modify or magnify, purpose, change the purpose, eliminate, and rearrange or reverse. So this is one of the method in which you can use the ideation process to create a new product, create a maybe in your job, maybe in your life, whatever. So once you have formed the solution, how do you evaluate your idea? How do you know whether your idea is, or the solution what you got for your idea is correct or wrong, or maybe it is too much over evaluated or too much over stressed solution? How do you evaluate it? Especially if it's a business idea. I'm going only the concept of a business idea here. So first thing is the product or prototype out of your idea good in your opinion and in the market? That whether you have designed a product or prototype, whether your idea will be welcoming for the customers, whether it will be good for the customers in the market, yourself. The second one is, what will be the market demand status for this product? What will be the demand status for this particular product? When you get it to the market, will there be a demand for it? Or will just people just look it like some other product and just move it like that aside? The third one is, what segment you should concentrate on, especially in the marketing phase? What is the product or the idea? What is a particular segment that you have to bring out your product into? Maybe it's for old people, maybe it's for young people, maybe it's for a mix of both. The next one is, will you get any sort of revenue out of it? Will you get any sort of revenue out of your particular idea or out of your particular product or prototype? Next one is a pricing. How can you price it? If it's a very good idea, or if you're going or selling your idea to some person, and how do you do that? There is a many strategies for pricing. I'm not going much to that. And next one is, what type of marketing system can you implement to bring your idea onto the masses? Or how can you communicate your idea to the whole world that I have this wonderful idea? What is the marketing system that you're going to implement? Is it a conventional marketing system, or is it some sort of a new digital form which you're going to implement? And the next one is, what is a similar kind of idea which is available in the market, which is a very important question which you should ask. What is a similar kind of idea which is available in the market, if it is currently available in the market? So these are the questions which you have to ask before going or coming out with your idea or forming a product or a business for your idea, or how you do the evaluation. So, have you evaluated your business idea still, or is it not evaluated? If you have not evaluated, try to answer these questions and try to do the evaluation. If you have not evaluated, there is another tool which I think would have been covered here by numerous other speakers. That is four sections for the SWOT analysis called the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. What are the strengths? Like for any product, you'll be doing the SWOT analysis. Similarly, for any idea, you can do the SWOT analysis, which is a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Here, the strength and opportunities are helpful, are something which are helpful for you idea or your business or your work or whatever. The strength and weakness is of internal origin. It is something which is coming from your idea, from your product. The opportunities and threats are external origin, are completely out of the things which are completely external, the thing which is something which you don't have control of. Okay, so strength is something which is helpful, which is helpful, which is the strength of your idea, which is the strength of your product. You can list out all the strengths here. If you have any weakness, you can list out all the weaknesses of your product here. Something which needs to be rectified. Maybe there is some room for improvement there. So those things you can particularly think of all the opportunities in the environment is promoting or providing you for promoting your idea. There might be a lot of opportunities for you for promotion of your particular idea or product. Maybe a good market, or maybe things, or looking forward for that opportunity. So that will be an opportunity for you also. So that is one of the opportunity. The threats are yes, these are the threats which might come for your idea. That's why I have kept the opportunities and threats in the external origin, and the strength and weakness as internal origin, that is internal for your product and business. So you can do a SWOT analysis, you can do a SWOT of your idea, you can do a SWOT your strengths, your weaknesses, your overview, all these things are taught. And that's why I told you I need your minds to move fast according to me. So that is things which can help. And strength and weaknesses will be opportunities and threats. You have to find out what are the strengths and opportunities and work on that, because that is helpful for achieving your objective. And after that, because that is harmful for the objective. So that is how you do the SWOT analysis. And that is how we do the design, or the ideation part of the process or ideation work. So I have completed here the creativity and the ideation process here. And now I'm going to the final section, that is design. If I'm going a bit fast, this is how actually we do with ideation process. And that is how we do the design and design thinking. So in general, by all these things are taught. And that's why I told you I need your minds to move fast according to me. So that is design. If you require, you can take a 1 minute break here. So that is design. If you require, you can take a 1 minute break here. So if you have any comments till now, you can just shoot your. Okay, fine. So here we go to the final part of our session, that is design and design thinking. So design thinking is a completely new concept. According to you, is design. That is what I want to know. Design is like doing this, doing that, or design is making something which is quite attractive, or making something which looks quite good. All these things can be told in the concept of design. But actually, what is design for people? That is generally what we say. Design is creating solutions for people. Actually, design. We can't say actually. So I'm going to tell a small story here. Maybe you would have heard the story already, which is called the Buddha of Oakland. Uh, So you can just listen to the story and then we can move on to the topic. Okay. So there was a city, the Oakland. Oakland is a city in California in United States. So Oakland had uh, like many people living there. Like they were, as you know, in the US, like people from different continents come and live in US, like maybe from Asia, Africa, Australia, South America. A lot of people from all the different parts of the world were coming. So we had like a particular place in Oakland called the East 19th and Street and 11th Avenue. The 19th Street and 11th Avenue. So there we had a particular median. You know what's a median, right? A traffic median, an intersection where all the traffic meets. A median was there. And just opposite the median, there lived a man called Dan Stevenson. His name was Dan Stevenson. And Oakland was, the city was not like very safe, and the people were not that much well mannered. They were rough, not the polished mannered type. And what happens is there was illegal dumping there. You know dumping, right? The waste we take from the home, we dump it. That is called illegal dumping. So people used to dump all the waste and everything to this particular median when it was constructed. And Dan Stevenson, the person, he used to live just opposite to that of that median. His house, the first thing he sees is all the waste in front of his home, just opposite the road, in front of the median. And it used to be a very weary sight for him, an ugly sight for him in the morning. So he used to get tired of it. He used to complain to the authorities there. He complained number of times. The authorities would come, clean out all the waste. The next day, the waste would just come from houses to that median. So what he did was he went and I presume we all know who is Buddha. He took a statue of Buddha and he placed it in the middle of that median. Because because of the crime rate, some people want people to dump there. So what was his idea is like Buddha is actually a neutral sort of person. It's not like Buddha is not associated like he's not associated to a very sort of religious type and all. Actually, it's Buddhism is there, but I'm not telling like Buddha is actually a very neutral person because all of us love Buddha, even the Christians, even the Hindus, the Muslims, or all over the world. People love Buddha because his life was quite good. It's a teaching for all. So what he did was he placed a statue of Buddha there and he attached it with iron rod and everything. And that day, some people tried to steal it, obviously, because of the crime rate and everything. Some people tried to steal it, but they couldn't steal it because it was attached. After 2 or 3 days, the dumping slowly stopped. The illegal dumping of the waste in that area slowly stopped there. And people stopped dumping, and along with that, after 4 months, after 4 months of attaching the Buddha statue, someone came and painted the whole statue white to make to show that it was pure. This people started coming and started giving offerings in front of the statue, like flowers, putting flowers in front of the statue. They started putting flowers. Some of them would put fruits and all and keep in front of the statue. And after that, after some more time, people started coming and worshipping like a shrine in front of the statue. And slowly they started building that Buddha. They built a shelter and they started putting flowers. with all the lights and everything. They built a shelter, and after that they slowly started bringing other idols and other statues there and kept it as a shrine. They dedicated it, the whole place, as a shrine. So the ultimate idea was like, what was the ultimate idea is like, people, the whole area changed, the whole place has changed, the whole area changed from a very different place, and now it's a very, and finally, you won't believe, now, right now, like as of 2019, 82 percentage of the crime rate, 82 percentage of the crime rate reduced after keeping the statue Buddha in that particular place. Because of the statue, the crime rate has reduced, but more of the people have moved to worshipping the shrine and moving to the shrine. So I'm just giving you a timeline here. What was it was like in 2011. 2011 it was like this, and 2014 it was like this. 2017 you can see smaller like Buddhas and smaller statues coming nearby, and all of them have a small roof. Okay, and this is the picture in 2019. It has got a grill and protection with night light and everything. So this is how the Oakland Buddha had changed, and the life of the people have changed there. People have become more productive. The crime rate, the prostitution, gambling, everything has come down. 82 percentage. So what is the idea here? What is the idea here? The idea is like, what is the root cause of the problem? In Oakland, there was a lot of problems among the people. Maybe they were, the crime rates were high and all these things were there. But what was the root cause? Is it because of a Buddha statue? Maybe. But here the idea is, even with the help of a Buddha statue, which was totally unrelated to the problem, we were able to address a lot of problems from that particular region, right? So this is the concept of design, or this is the concept of design or design thinking. It is not necessary that you need a particular sort of solution which you have implanted in your mind to solve a particular sort of problem, or the root cause might be different. Maybe the root cause might be different for a particular problem which needs to be identified and which needs to be worked upon, so that proper solutions might come. So here I'm going to show you some examples of bad designs. I'm again telling you design and designs which were not good. Some sort of a bad design. So these are some of the examples of bad designs. So here you can see that just there is like the opening is here. If you open the door itself, you can see that there is a step here, which is a very dangerous thing. It's an example for a bad design. Then we have the second picture. We have the picture of a hospital. The hospital has like some person thought that this might be a very good idea for decorating the flooring of a hospital, but it looks like it's a wayfinder. You know what's a wayfinder, right? We have a particular way, or we have a particular decoration, or some sort of a description on the ground which shows which way we have to move. So this is a wayfinder that which we have used in the hospital. So do you think this is a good idea for a hospital? No. It looks like a pool of blood, right? And here it is again a picture of a carpet design which they have used for a step. The carpet design which they have used for a step, you can see that it is all of made of multiple colors. This is actually a bad design. Now you can see here again some bad designs here. This is a company called Nice, which they have put the soda, lime soda, and the vinegar in the same cup. Like people might confuse it for the liquid, the vinegar, confuse the vinegar for a fresh water, lime, and they might drink it like that. Here you can see a book which is written "No More Plastic." It is a book against plastic, and here there is an ad of a person outside a supermarket. It's written "Thanks for shopping with us," but it looks like the person is trying to throw a pineapple onto our face, right? So these are ideas of bad design which have a negative impact on the person or the person's mind. Again, we have an idea of bad design here. It's a door for a person. What's the problem here? It was meant to know, like, distinguish whether a person is inside or not, but still it's a very bad design here. Here some sort of a person thought that flushing thing and the cleaning thing can be incorporated into one, but it's not at all a good design. You can easily think out why, because once we do the flushing, this is a picture for a hospital. This picture, like, it can be seen that whenever we move to a hospital, this will be the case: the father, mother, and the kid. It looks like they're hanging, right? So these are bad designs. So again, another bad design example: the bathroom, just to see whether someone is kept in a very high portion. Here it's just for, like, some people have designed it for people with wheelchair to move easily on the step. They have kept this high rollers, so it's like a high roller ride. And here this design is like they have kept a grill here, the drainage grill just below the door and the lock of that door. So just imagine if you take out the key, and if you try to open the lock, suddenly the key falls, it will correct go, or it will go right into this hole which you can never retrieve. And also some road construction, some kids play things. You can see an elephant. This is a play. It is in a park. It's a very, very bad design experience here. So these are things which have been done. So good design, I'm showing you. There was this thing of Volkswagen's fun theory design at Sweden. In a particular railway station, here the railway station is built along with the staircases. So in order to promote Volkswagen, what they did, there are three piano notes here. Believe me, it's not just a pitch, each with a different noise. The people using the escalator came down, using the stairs use the point of the pitch. You all, like, would have undergone maybe the MRI scanning machine to this sort of graph particular boy or that girl, and then they go through the kids from the change the mind of that particular MRI. The good design reminder device to arrive at the station taxi. Sound be silent. From Ford, when you open the again another method, which has been furniture here. So these are all skills promote. So there are many things you have here. The innovators DNA, the innovation of the kid with something else. And design skills you have to reflecting. Thinking. Don't worry. So design thinking, there are multiple school of thought. Design thinking problem when you're confronted with any problem with a problem. Might be linear approach. You have to focus on the solution. You have to immerse in under step of design thinking, and the most important step, the problem attitude or my feel design thinking. Some systematic approaches to design thinking. Empathize. Remember, ED is like empathize like the customer. Sit in their shoes, what they actually maybe one round problem. The next step, which you opportunities from which you can come. The third portion, you can first prototype a small rough model of prototype. You have to make a your idea. You hand it over. You hand then you have to test it with the customer. Have in mind, eyes are king. You have to listen to them, make of the problem you're testing. Do the solution focused thinking and a problem focusing approach. Generally, what in our studies trying to get solutions for that. But and find out which So these are the solutions for the design thing. Then we have to go to that is called divergent thinking. By speak out to the people problem, or if a community has a particular problem, you speak to maybe 10 or 20 people. As an entrepreneur or a student of design thinking, you have to note each and every problem down. You have to ask some questions again related to that problem to understand the deeper concepts of what is actually haunting them. It might be completely unrelated thing. Don't know. We don't know. It might be completely different. So section, we have to empathize with the crowd. We have to speak with them, understand it. Finally, we have to go to the definition stage. You speak with 10 or 20 people, understand all the concepts, Hello. Yeah, can you see me?
Yes,
Can you
Mr.
see?
Shibin.
Yeah, there was some network issue, I guess, right?
Yes, proceed now.
It's okay.
I hope. Yes, okay.
So the video was
I think,
shown.
yeah, little bit we received your audio breakings.
Okay. Still you're receiving the audio breakage.
Yes, yes.
So let me just see. I'll just connect it to a different network.